right, the second part of our day tomorrow is we want to find the volume of pyramids. Now, pyramids and prisms are very closely related. Let me move my cursor out of the frame there. So to find the volume of any prism, we took the area of the base and we multiplied by the height. Well, every pyramid, if I were to draw a rectangular prism over here real quick. So there's our rectangular prism. Let me add in the edges that we don't see. A pyramid is really the same shape, but all of these sides just end up coming together at that apex point right there. So the volume formula for a pyramid is actually area of the base times the height of the pyramid divided by 3. So big B is still area of the base. H is still the height of the prism. Or in this case, not prism, pyramid. And it turns out that any pyramid that would fit in its, prism buddy would fit 3 times over. So if we look at this formulas right here, a rectangular pyramid, start with red. The volume formula is the area of the base, length times width, multiplied by the height of the pyramid, divided by 3. A triangular pyramid is area of the base, which is base times height divided by 2, times the big height, all divided by 3. Now that crazy formula really can be written base times height times big height, all divided by 6. Because the 2 and the 3 both end up dividing everybody, so they all get divided by 6 in the end. A trapezoidal prism, for the same reason, if you have a trapezoidal pyramid, base 1 plus base 2, that has to happen first. You still have to add those, times the height of your trapezoid, times the height of your pyramid. You have to divide by 2 because it's a trapezoid, but you have to divide by 3 because it's a pyramid, so it ends up dividing everything by 6. And then last but not least, a regular polygon pyramid formula. Volume, we take the apothem, we times the perimeter, we times the height of the pyramid. We have to divide by 2 for the polygon aspect. We have to divide by the 3, which means we end up dividing everything by 6 in the end. So those are our 4 formulas, Let's see them in action. First problem right here, volume is equal to length times width times height, all divided by 3 again. I want you to write down that formula. Plug in our numbers. This happens to be a square pyramid. But unfortunately, that 11 right there is not the height of the pyramid. That's the slant height. So what I need to do is actually find the height of this pyramid. How tall is it? So if I were to make a right triangle, so I'm going to draw it down here, that triangle inside, we're going to have a 6 by our unknown side right there by the 11. This is not a Pythagorean triple, so I'm going to grab my calculator. We end up needing to take 121 minus 36. We get that. We get the square root of 85, and I'm going to keep it in decimal form. 9.22 is going to be our height. I'm going to record that right there. 9.22 is our height. I come over here. 9.22. I'm going to put that in parentheses. Make that decimal point look more like a decimal point, not a multiplication dot. And I have to divide that by 3. I'm going to go back to my calculator. I'm going to take that 9 point, whoops, hit the decimal point a few too many times. Go back, delete that. 9.22. I'm going to multiply that by the 12 times 12, so 144. Divide by 3. So the volume is 442.56. 442.56 inches cubed. All right, let's jump over to this rectangular pyramid. We're going to use length times width times big height. That finds the prism that this pyramid would create, but dividing it by 3 turns your prism into a pyramid. The length, I'm going to call 18. The width, I'm going to call 9. The height is 6, so we don't have to do any extra math. Divided by 3. With this, yes, we could take this 3 and cancel out one with the 6. We could cancel with the 9. We could cancel with the 18. But it's only one of them. We don't take 3 away from all of it. I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of do these problems longhand. 18 times 9 times 6. So that's what we get for the prism. But I want to turn it into a pyramid, so I divide by 3. And we get 324 miles cubed for our volume. All right, we're going to jump down to our triangular. Oh, that's a triangular prism. Whoop, skip that one. That one slipped past my... I saw the triangle and I went, ha-ha, pyramid. It's not a pyramid. So we're just going to skip that one. We're not looking at prisms on the back side of this page. So, skip that one. All right, we got ourselves our triangular prism. Triangular pyramid. So we need to take the base times the height of the pyramid. We would have to divide it by 2 for the triangle. Then we'd have to divide it by 3 because it's a pyramid. So we end up dividing everything by 6. The base of the triangle is 9. The height of the triangle is 12. The height of the pyramid is 11. We're going to divide that whole thing by 6. So we end up with, probably just do this without the calculator, 12 divided by 6 gets you 2. So we get 22 times 9. Either way, I'm just going to grab the calculator because it's late and I don't want to do the calculations. 9 times 12 times 11 divided by 6 gets us 198 miles cubed worth of volume. All right, let's jump down to our 2 trapezoidal pyramids. All right, so a trapezoidal pyramid. One of these days I'll get it. Base 1 plus base 2 times the height times the big height. We end up dividing by 6 overall. The bases of our prisms, 6 plus 10 times the little height 5 times the big height of 14. We have to divide all that by 6. Because this has to happen first, we can't cancel that 6 and that 6 at all. The addition goes first. So it's easier from here just to kind of take out the calculator, let it do it for you. 6 plus 10 times 5 times the 14. We'll divide that answer by 6. Make sure I type all my numbers right. And we're going to round it to 2 decimal places. 186.67 units cubed worth of volume. All right, next trapezoidal pyramid. Learning, getting it. We're going to take base 1 plus base 2 times the height times the big height divided by 6. All right. Half the battle with these problems is knowing which number represents which dimension. It's another good reason to always write down your formula. That way you can see what numbers you're putting where, so you can kind of have a double check. Like, all right, is 12 really one of the bases of the trapezoid? Is 16 one of the bases? Is the 4 really the height of the trapezoid? Is the 18 really the height of the pyramid? That way, if there is more numbers on this and you're trying to figure out which one is which, you have a second look right there to make sure you didn't do anything, any silly mistakes really. 12 plus 16. Enter. Be very careful on the calculator that you hit that addition before you do any multiplication, because if you type them in all in the same line without parentheses, the calculator will instinctively do the multiplication first and save the addition for last. Oh, that's fun, 2016. We divide by 6, and the volume is 336 units cubed worth of volume. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, 12 plus 16 times 4 times 18. It looks right, looks like it would work, but it's only 1,164 when it's really supposed to be 2016. All right, so that's our volume on that one. We got one final pyramid that we're going to find the volume of. So what they've given us is the apothem is 2 root 3, just like the previous problem. That's fun. The perimeter, there's a 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Whoops. Sorry. Counter 6, row 6. 6 times 4. So our perimeter is really 24. But then again, they got us the slant height. Pesky, pesky slant height right there. So we don't want slant height. We want the real height. So the triangle that ends up getting built is our big height right there, slant height of 8, and then the distance from this dot out to the edge right there was 2 root 3. So using our Pythagorean theorem, we get 64 on our hypotenuse minus the 2 root 3 squared. Well, the 2 root 3 squared is really 4 times 3. So we get the square root of 52. Oh. Whoops. Oh, I didn't type in the 52. Haha. And that is going to be our height. 7.21 when rounded to 2 decimal places. All right. Slide that up so it's not such a weird angle there. Okay, so we've got our big height, we've got our apothem, we've got our perimeter, we've got our height. We're good to go. We're going to take that apothem, we're going to multiply the perimeter, we're going to multiply the height. We're going to divide it all by 6. So we get the apothem, 2 root 3 times the perimeter, 24, times our height of 7.21. Now, since I didn't keep radical form getting the height, I'm not going to keep the radical form and have a decimal. That just seems kind of dumb to have one form mixed with the other form. So I'm going to real quick find the decimal form of our apothem. And we get 3.46, and that's what I'm going to use for the rest of this problem. So 3.46 times 24 times 7.21. We divide that answer by 6. And so the volume of this pyramid is 99.79 meters cubed. So a few things that I need to add to my notes and show you on the video. I stopped right here to convert my apothem into our decimal. That way we're all in decimal form. I then have to divide this whole thing by 6 to find our volume. The same thing up here. We'd have to divide it by 6, which brings our volume to 99.79 meters cubed. Now we are able to leave it in radical form. If I remember correctly, this was root 52. I would simplify root 52. I think 4 goes into 52. Let me just double check. Yep, so I would have 2 root 13 if I decided to stay in radical form. And if we stayed in radical form, we'd have 2 root 3 times 24 times 2 root 13 all over 6. We could cancel the 6 out real quick with the 24 and get 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 gets you 16. And then we get root 3 times root 13, and we get root 39 meters cubed. That would be it in radical form if we decide to keep it in radical form. We can double check the answer. If I were to type 16, hopefully this all worked out. I didn't make a mistake anywhere. Root 39. We get that 99.91. Because we rounded our decimals, we're slightly off in those two estimations, but we're both at the 99. And that is all there is to it.